Are you ready for something fresh?
Something cheesy?
Something stimulating? Then get ready for... Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very special and incredibly niche episode of Science and Sorcery. My name is Sam Langford, the resident Chaos Cheese Boy on this stream, and I am carefully holding the fort as the Overlord is not here. She's going to be cheesed off as we milk tonight's theme to the point where I'm going to be grinning like a Cheshire cat. Now, I would say that we'll give back the reins to Dagmar before Alex and I get some proper cheddar for all of our Gouda work. But I'm afraid that metaphorical mascarpone has now bolted from its stable. If you haven't been paying attention, yes, we are doing a dairy-themed one-shot tonight, and so we must warn you that tonight's content will be extra mature. We have 4 amazing additional guests loaded up with cheese puns and amazing characters who will be taking us on a very original, well-aged quest. So, first of all, I'm going to please welcome our dungeon master for this evening. It is Science and Sorcery's resident artist and long-suffering dungeon master. It is Alex Holt.
Good evening.
Alex, how are you feeling about doing this? I am actually genuinely a little bit nervous, doing this one because I know that she's going to hate it so much.
Yep. We may or may not get murdered, so if we do, everyone, you know who the suspect is.
Okay, I'm going to bring up our next guest. All of our players this evening have been on Science and Sorcery before and have agreed to come back and take part in this stupid idea that Alex and I had. Please welcome back multiple-time player. It's outdoor learning educator, speaker and writer, animal flight researcher, and the creator of Guess the Crest is Alex Evans.
Hello. Fantastic. Yeah, very excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming to be part of this. I'm so excited to see what you bring to the stream.
Me too.
And we're also welcoming back a previous player on the Isle of Kertas as Monterey Jack, another cheese-themed character from the past. Please welcome, in her own words, the world's okayest microbiologist. It's Charlotte Rifton.
Hello, thanks for having me again.
Oh, thank you so much for coming back. Looking forward to this?
Absolutely, yeah. I might have to unleash the cheese boys later as well, once again.
I think they have to. I think at some point they're going to have to go on screen.
Bit concerned they'll pull my ears off, but we'll see.
And finally, you may know him as Slim. You may know him as Boomslang. But you also may know him as the storytelling whiz of our recent show, Dungeon Master Dash. Please welcome back Kilo Thurlaway.
Sorry, just having some yogurt. I am absolutely hyped for tonight. And I think all of our characters are absolutely insane. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming back to play as well. Genuinely, I'm a little bit shaky about this one. Alex and I were talking about it before. I'm not sure why we're so nervous because we've done lots of these streams before, but this is the one that might actually push her over the edge. There's not a lot for me to pass on other than, hi, Dagmar. I hope you hate it. It's going out at the end of November, so we still will be raising money for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. We'll get that banner going in just a second. Please do. We've got a couple of days left to donate to that. It is a cause dear to all of us who are part of Science and Sorcery. So thank you so much to those of you who've already donated. And if you please can, do donate. There isn't a chance to influence the game. But please do throw some donations in there. There will be chances for our players to influence the game with some cheesy puns as we go on through. I'm sure there's going to be hundreds of them. With that, though, I am going to hand over to our Dungeon Master this evening. So, Alex, take it away.
Well, 12 years ago, Milktropolis's greatest heroes, Milkmaid and Latte Man, teamed up for the first time to put the Yoghurt on crime. And when others were inspired by their feats of dairy-do, the Lactose League was born. Legends such as the Yarg, Lassilas, and the Blue Cheese picked up the mantle for justice. These pasteurized pugilists made Milktropolis the enviable, true creme de la creme of cities. But then, 2 years ago, they faced a great threat like none before. The milk-taking android named the Iron Lady, with its devastating milk snatcher ray, almost brought the Lactose League to its knees. And in the aftermath of that terrible battle, the League decided they needed to expand their ranks to prevent such a curdled catastrophe from ever happening again. So, we find the League's newest recruits sent off on their first unsupervised mission aboard the airship, the Milk Float. Little did they know this day would be the day that they got to truly prove themselves heroes. So, now my voice gets to recover for a second. 5 minutes ago, you were all notified of an emergency alarm from the Milktropolis National Museum during their annual gala, currently displaying the creme de la creme, the largest milky quartz in the world. Safety shutters have dropped, trapping the important people within, and something is in there with it. You are dispatched and currently hovering above it in the milk float, with a glass ceiling above you, and some brief yellow blur is moving in the crowd below. So, let's describe your characters and your dramatic entrances to the scene of the crime. Let's start with Kefir.
I'm just gonna squelch in there, because Kefir, she is a tiefling, and she's also a warlock who has formed a pact with some coffee that went a little bit mouldy from one of the devils in the 9 Halloumis. This patron is, he just goes by Mike, but his full name is Microbe. He's a symbiotic community of bacteria and yeast that has just attached to Kefir's body and is delightfully squelchy as she moves around. So she's just going to slide on in there. I don't think I'll be able to do the ASMR as well as Khalil does, but I'll sure try, so I'll just... dramatic squelchy entrance.
Okay, so as a side note, I've said that I'm handing out generous inspiration in this for cheese puns. So that's a D6 for the 9 Halloumis there, I think.
Incredible, thank you.
Let's go to the Stinking Bishop.
So the camera pans up from Kefir having just entered the museum, and it pans up to the airship, and it pans up the body of this this kind of older human man with a slight hunch, very jowly face, and a demeanor that could be best described as curmudgeonly, really. He wears kind of jade green kind of robes that go over one shoulder and wrap around, and his bald head is laced with squiggly greenish fungal tendrils that kind of slowly writhe in his flesh. And he supports his weight on a tall, extremely gnarled staff with a variety of fungal fruiting bodies kind of growing and dying and growing and dying from the top. And then he kind of looks down at the museum and he summons from his arm a fungal whip, which is my renamed Thorn Whip, and is going to use it to kind of abseil down with an agility that would surprise you from a man this old.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's now move on to Queso Grande.
So, yes, Queso Grande. He is a luchador. He is a Mexican wrestler / superhero. He's Nacho ordinary wrestler. There you go, that's one.
Inspiration for that.
His appearance is masked in a black and gold luchador mask with a slice of cheese emblem on his forehead. He's wearing almost you would say kind of lederhosen, but very skin tight, covering only the essentials. So a lot of his beautiful, gorgeous bronze body is on show. His muscles are bulging. He's gotten that from years of weightlifting. It's a strategy he's come up with for dairy protein-based bodybuilding. He never ever removes his mascarpone. He will never reveal his true identity to the world. But he fights for justice. So he will just launch himself from the airship. He's very, very acrobatic in the true style of lucha. He is all about flips, spins, twirls, and twists. So he does what's the biggest degree twist I can think of? 7,000 degree twist on the way down. Almost gets whiplash in his neck.
It's like this big drill from the heavens, just like
yeah. Landing with a powerful impact on the ground below.
Nice. And last but not least, Baby Bell.
So you see this kind of 6 foot tall white woman. I say white, kind of off-white, kind of milky white skin, with kind of long, deep red hair, holding a little microphone with a red kind of knee-length dress that is kind of red and what looks to be made of wax. This is Baby Bell. At the front of the cleavage, there's a little white tab that can just be ready to be pulled away at any notice. Baby Bell is a changeling. And as one last thing, in her hair you can see that the rustling around of a little creature. This is Jacob. Jacob is a little humanoid cracker that will hopefully come into play at some point throughout. So Jacob the familiar. Before launching from the milk float, Baby Bell is going to turn round to the sky and cast Skywrite. That's just going to say, "BRB, please don't tow us," and then kind of launch herself out into the air.
Magnificent. So I assume you will basically just end up doing your like simultaneous superhero landings, however that best fits your characters.
Oh yeah.
And as you land in, there's like all the niches are like, the glass is showering down from above from Queso Grande is like smashing through the ceiling, particularly. And you see this like yellow blur just zipping around. Everyone just make me a quick history check to see if you recognize this.
Whilst everyone's rolling, can I retroactively go back and say that the Skywrite, and say rather than BRB, says it Bree right back?
Yes, you can, and you get a dice for that. These dice don't stack because otherwise you'll just use 1 million of them on the final boss.
So I got a 19.
Okay.
17.
I got 20.
Big old one.
Okay. So Keizo apparently wasn't paying attention in like superhero villain briefings, but the other three of you know this. This is a speedster known as Cheese Whiz, and he's literally just like running super fast and like pummeling the sort of shutters, trying to punch his way through, and then zipping around. And then he notices your arrival. The lactose losers are here. You can't stop me. I'm the Cheese Whiz.
Well, it appears that these shutters have quite stopped you already. I think our work here is done. Just give up now, Cheese Whiz. Don't make this difficult.
That's not how we're doing things. And he is going to charge into attack. And let's roll some initiative on this first combat.
Straight into it.
Does not mess around. Jeez.
Cheese.
That's an 11 for me.
That's going to be a 16 for the bishop.
Okay, so
Has a 21 for me.
Ha! 23.
Man.
Alex, Sam, Khalil, Charlotte. Okay, but despite all those impressive things, this guy is a speedster, and he does go first. So, as the stinking bishop was the one who's slandering him, he is going to charge in at full speed and unleash a McFlurry of blows upon you. I apologise for that one beforehand, and it's still cringeworthy, even though they knew about it in advance.
Unhand me!
So does a 21 hit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he just does 12 set damage because basically each of his attacks is just like machine gun punches, so he does 12 1 damage attacks in one go. And then he uses his he is going to zip back away from you after he's landed those blows to the far side of the room.
Cool.
And that brings us, and you're not taking any no, okay, that brings us to Queso Grande.
Okay, so I didn't mention before, Queso Grande, barbarian. Part of the path of the totem, so you get to pick an animal, and he's picked the path of the camembert, and so he's going to curdle with rage and gain all the benefits from that rage. So he is just going to charge straight at this fiend. How far away can I just get straight in?
I mean, the room's only about 60 foot diameter, so he can't like get out of range of you. So, and I'm assuming you're right in the middle.
Okay,
and
yeah.
He's got the quartz clutched under one arm.
Yeah, gonna go straight at it as my first. So bonus action to rage, then I get my action, which I'm gonna just try and lay him out. When I'm crossing the room, I'm gonna do so as elegantly as possible. Couple of flips as I'm going. I can roll for those if you want.
Yeah, let's throw that in there for fun.
I mean, I've got a plus 13 in my acrobatics. I saw this come.
There's always that nat one.
Oh, it's a one.
Yes. So you
First day on the job.
Yeah. You were doing these like beautiful pirouettes through the thing, and then just like somebody has like a one of those plates of cheese and pineapple on little cocktail sticks, and you just trip over and land face first, and you've got all these cocktail sticks in your face. You are barbarian like raging, so resistant to piercing damage, all of which individually don't do any damage with the addition of your mask, but you look like a pincushion right now. And you just sort of hobble slightly to get to him finally.
But I do get to him.
Yeah.
Okay, not the first impression I was hoping to make. Okay, well, hopefully I can make up for it. So yeah, Queso is going to flex his muscles, and he's just going to swing a fist. So he's a tavern brawler, so he's got better unarmed strikes than the average non-superhero. So he's going to get a 21.
That hits.
Okay. Oh, 4. 4. 7 damage.
Okie dokie. So you just slug him in the face.
Yeah. And then I get my second one. It's the same. This time I'm going to kick.
Okay.
One fist, opposite leg. Going to sort of do a pincer maneuver.
Nice.
Like that.
You're bringing your cheesy socks into the stream.
So flexible.
That's going to be 22.
To hit, yeah.
A hit for just 5 points of damage.
Okie
I'm not
dokie.
got the right box on today.
That your turn?
I've got a lot of. This is my first ever level 15 character, so there's
Okay.
a massive list of stuff. But I think that is it.
Now, interestingly, this guy's a speedster, so he's going to take another turn now against Queso Grande and does a 32 hit.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's just going to McFlurry of blows you again. So you are resistant with your rage currently, and so just like you just pecs are sort of deflecting these like extreme speed punches, so you only 6 damage there. Feel the whiz.
Not too.
And that brings us around to Khalil and the Stinking Bishop.
Was Baby Bell not in front of me?
Yes, sorry. Yes, Baby Bell was in front of you. I will
So
put space up on this thing.
Baby Bell is gonna like stand up from that superhero landing and just gonna like dust off her dress, look at Cheese Whiz and just be like bored now, and is gonna, as a bonus action, use Stuck on Fondue and attempt to bind the character. So it needs a strength saving throw, please.
Okie dokie. 19. He's running very well today.
Oh, well, it's fine. With that, then is gonna run towards Cheese Whiz and take two slashes with her cheese knives, which are kind of like plated knives with kind of curved endings. And take 2 swipes with those. Which would be a 20, a dirty 20, and a 26.
Both of those will hit.
Perfect. So that will be 14 points of piercing damage.
Is that combined?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very good.
And he's going to take his flurry of blows against you as well. Does a 25 hit.
Yes, it does.
12 points of machine gun punching bludgeoning damage to you, and that brings us around to the Stinking Bishop actually this time.
So, having just kind of taken all these punches from Cheese Whiz, he's going to kind of get kind of this grumpy old man, shake his head. Now you've done it. And the fungal veins all over his body start to pulse and grow, and around him it kind of forms this kind of almost like a suit of power armor, basically, but made of fungus. So I'm using my wild shape to invoke my fungal form, and then he kind of and his staff starts to glow in a sickly green light. As I cast Shillelagh with my bonus action. And then, again, with a speed that you wouldn't expect from such a grumpy old bastard, he's going to kind of zigzag run and get right up next to the Cheese Whiz.
Okay. You are up to... Oh, you're not making an attack? Or was that your...
My action was to summon my fungal form.
Okay. So this old man's just run at him, so he's going to take another pummeling at Queso, I think. 24 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another 6 damage. This is not your time, this is mine, see? And that brings us round to Kathir.
Okay, she's not liking all this bullying that's going on. She's going to point at him and go, prepare to be pasteurised. And with that, she's going to start moving her arms around, and Mike is going to come together and start forming this quite large yogurt-y ball. And she's going to cast Baby Beldritch Blast at him. Now, because of her level, she gets 3 beams, so she gets 3 goes at this. So her first one is a 25. If
That hits. Yep.
So that is 12 force damage for the first one.
Nice.
Number 2, that is a 29. And that is
hits.
another 11 force damage.
You're rolling well on those.
And then, a 13 for the final one.
That misses, I'm afraid.
Oh,
But these like yogurty blasts just sort of drench him up, and he does a quick like super speed spin to sort of whiz it off, so you're all splattered with yogurt now. But he's going to take his next one, and he's going to zoom past you all in melee and go for Kfir.
I am 100% going to take a swing.
Okay.
That's going to be a 17.
That just hits.
Yes. Okay, so that's going to be a D8 for the shillelagh and an extra D6 from my fungus. It's going to be 11 plus 16 points of a mixture of necrotic and poison damage. As the kind of the fungi from the tip of my staff, as I clock him around the head with it, some of the spores kind of come off and start to like corrupt and like really kind of blue veins of kind of Stilton start to spread through Cheese Whiz.
Nasty. So having taken that hit, either of the rest of you taking reactions?
Yeah, definitely going to take a swing. Elbow this time.
Okay.
Ooh, not as good. 15.
No, afraid not. You take this hit, and he just like bullet time dodges under it.
I got a 17.
That hits.
Wow.
I'm going to take a swing with my blunt blade of sharpness, which is a homebrew thing, which I'm really excited to use. So that is 7 points of psychic damage.
Oh, interesting. Nice, yeah.
So the blunt blade of sharpness is a short sword, but it is very blunt, meaning that like you can use it like a sword, but when you hit, it doesn't cause any piercing or slashing damage. Instead, it causes psychic damage from blunt insults. As it hits, she's just gonna like turn to Cheese Whiz and say, "I've heard everything about you is really fast, and that's like really disappointing."
Oh dear. Just a single tear rolls out.
Does it roll down really fast? Like
Extra fast tear ducts.
Yeah, so having taken this pummeling from the Stinking Bishop and Baby Bell, he's going to run up and take that hit on Kfir. So I'm going to cream you for that.
I'm not sure that's workplace appropriate, young man.
21 to hit.
that does hit.
12 points of damage then.
Okay. But she gets a reaction in response to that. She's going to turn around and go, "You haven't been very good a boy, have you?" And she's going to cast Hallumish Rebuke. So he needs to do a dex save, please.
Okay, unfortunately, unless he rolls a nat 1, he has an obscene dex save score. Yeah, so that's a 48 dex save score.
Okay. Nonetheless, he takes half of this, so
Okay.
that is half of 26, so 13 fire damage he takes in return.
13, okay. Perfect. Now we're back to top of the round with Queso.
Okay, so he's sprinted away from us, but still within range.
Yep.
Okay. Gonna go for a cartwheel this time. I'm reining it back a bit.
Okay.
But still want to show off Queso's
Okay, make
skills.
your acrobatics check then.
Please. Okay, 24.
Okay, yeah, so you do this dramatic cartwheel, or cheat perhaps, and arrive in melee with him again.
Fantastic. Okay, he's going to go for a choke slam on there. He is just going to first do a normal attack, but then get to follow up with a bonus action to try and grapple him. But
Okay, dokie.
I mean, with a dex like that, you might be able to escape. But first, we'll just go for a regular old punch. Ooh, that's going to be 17.
Just hits.
For 5 points of damage.
Nice.
And then I think, I can try to use my bonus action then to grapple the target.
Okay. So, am I rolling a?
It's a contest. So I've got my athletics, and then you can use dex or strength, I think.
Right.
Which like there's not much choice.
I'm gonna say he's actually gonna fail that because for elaborate reasons. But
What do you argue?
for 3, so I think you should get something for a 3. He's not acrobatic; he's just fast.
Okay. What did I get overall? Big numbers, lots of adding. 31.
Yeah, that would have been fine anyway.
So he grappled
Okay,
in a nice hug on the floor.
you put in the cheese press on me.
And I think that's it. I think then, I'm
Okie dokie.
Attack.
So he is going to try and take his go to. He's basically just going to sort of vibrate super quick to try and like grate you basically with.
Oh.
So just make a Constitution saving throw.
Graters, the one weakness. And also trying to do flips. My other weakness. What was that? Constitution. 17.
Yeah, that's fine. So you'll only take so you made it. So you'll only take 1 damage from that after your physical resistance as well. So it's just like ripped some of your chest hair off, basically. Which is not good, but it's not like a mortal injury in the same way as other possibilities could have happened there. Right. So and he is still grappled, which brings us round to Baby Bell.
So Baby Bell is going to take her cheese knife and where is it? Is going to take the knife and kind of draw it along her own arm and cast Spice Chutney for our Crimson Knight. So it's going to take 1d8 of damage for that, which is a full 8. Lovely. And then attempt to take another 2 kind of swipes with this.
Okay.
Knife towards Cheese Whiz.
And it'll be advantage because he's grappled.
It would be what? Sorry, advantage.
Yeah, because he's grappled.
Yeah. Alright. So that'd be an 18 for the first one.
Yep.
And second would be a 17.
Yep, that hits as well.
Awesome. Right, so that is 1. Okay, then maths in my head, 25, and then 2d8. Uh, 26 points of piercing damage.
Nice. He's looking pretty rough at this point. And he's still grappled, so he's going to take another attempt to grate you. How did I say that worked last time? I think that fails anyway. That's fine. Oh no, it's a Constitution 7 your part. That was why I was like,
Yes, it was.
roll?
Yeah. It's 24.
Okay, so you see, Okay, so that was a 2 he rolled, and you succeeded, so that'd be halved. And then your resistance, so you take half a point of damage.
He's just taking like single cells of skin off me at this point.
Yes. Yeah,
Queso grande es muy
quite
fuerte.
nice. It's like, ugh. Never felt that.
Do you get paid to get this kind of treatment? It's lovely.
Yeah. Okay, and that brings us round to the Stinking Bishop again.
So, to get this straight, Queso Grande is still grappling Cheese Whiz, and we're attacking with advantage?
Yep.
Sweet. The Stinking Bishop is going to sprint after the Cheese Whiz, and again, with the staff, it's going to go to... the first one is going to be a 29, and the second one is going to be a 25.
Yeah, I think those hit.
So that would be 2d8, 2d6. That's not great though. 14. 24 damage across both attacks. Mixture of necrotic and poison. And then with my bonus action, after going, I'm just gonna rear my head back and just headbutt him with an unarmed strike.
Nice.
And that's going to be a 21 to hit.
Yep.
Which will do 8 points of bludgeoning.
He's got like at this point there's just like a thin stream of cheese running down. He is looking very rough.
Nothing stronger than a good mature cheese.
Apart from me.
He's going to make another great attack.
Can I get a pun point for that?
Don't you already have one? No, you didn't. Yeah, no, you can have that. Yeah. And I should track who's got them because I think
I don't know
we've got
if
them.
has been in any cheese buns yet.
Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna try and just make a normal acrobatics check now, because his grating attack just seems to be like giving you good skincare.
Is this the start of his turn? Is this like a turn or a legendary?
Sort of both. It can be a turn if there's a turn-based thing you're doing.
He starts his turn within 10 feet of me in my fungal form, and so the little traces of fungus that I left on him with some of those strikes start to spread, and they're going to take 6 more points of poison damage.
Ooh.
Sorry, they get a con save.
Oh right. That'll happen. That's 24.
Okay, then nothing.
Then nothing happens. Okay. Woo, rewind. Okie dokie. So that brings us to Kefir, I believe.
Okay, I think Kefir, seeing the dribbly cheese coming out of his nose and suspecting it's not going to take too much more to, stop him in his tracks, she's probably going to go in with another Baby Beldridge Blast. So that's a 19 for the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 6 force damage.
Okay, you just like.
She keeps going.
Yeah.
29 for the next one.
That hits.
That's a 15 force damage.
How do you want to take this guy down?
I mean, I don't want to kill the guy. I want him to be extremely covered in yogurt and just completely unable to see, completely incapacitated. All he knows at this point is just yogurt.
I'm imagining it's like one of those like hydraulic, like high pressure water cannons, but it's just yogurt.
Yeah,
just
so much yogurt.
Lay down. And he just you can see the moment he loses his consciousness and just with all the yog, he just slips out of Queso's grasp and just slides unconscious along the floor. And you have defeated Cheese Whiz and protected the creme de la creme, the world's largest milky quartz. And so, in the following sort of minutes, like Cheese Whiz's villain rehabilitation team turn up and sort of get him cleaned up and sort of take him back to get the help he needs. It's you sort of fill in the requisite paperwork. Just suddenly something happens. You all have on you like little communicator watches. So basically, just so the league can keep in contact with its members, and it's all of your watches start flashing red. Boop, boop.
Well, what does this thing? Make it stop. Baby Bell, it's happening again.
We record to get going.
Yeah.
Is that what this means? I think my steps.
This is a Red Leicester alert.
So you know that this means that someone has pulled the alarm back at the your headquarters, which is the cottage cheese pundit. And then suddenly you get like a little face calling you up on the screen of your watch. Oh golly gosh, are you guys at the cottage HQ? And you recognise Soy Boy, who is Latte Man's sidekick. The other leaguers are there, and they were having some interviews, but I can't get Latte Man on the line, and now none of the others are answering either. Jeepers, like you've got to get there and find out what's happening to them.
Yes, calm down. Can't rush these things, but yes, we'll go. Have you got any more information on what's happening?
No, I'm just back at the Latte Cave, and then like Latte Man, he said he would be back by now, but he's not.
Well, it is worrying. I think we need to get back as fast as we can.
Okay.
Never send a coffee to do a cheese's job.
I'm struggling to hear because Mike has just slithered over the watch. I can't hear a thing.
Oh no. So I assume you all hop back in the milk float.
Let's go, Gonzola! Another one.
And so you head back to the cottage cheese, which is a slightly ironically named building. In that it's not really a cottage by any stretch of the imagination. It's a small, it's a small manor house basically. It belonged to the Wensley family, this very famous rich family. Obviously, they just donated it purely out of the generosity of their heart for the use of the Lactose League. But even as you bring the milk float above, there is something off about the situation. Like you can see, like the thick shutters have come down on the mansion, so that it's locked down as well. And whatever's going on inside with the other leaguers, like you'll have to get through these barriers to find out.
How long was the journey?
The milk float is pretty quick, so it's probably only about 5 minutes.
Great. So I'm still in my symbiotic entity form.
Yep.
I've stopped raging. I've calmed down.
So what did you say, Sam?
Oh, I don't have a Gouda feeling about this, and it's gonna Baby Bell is just gonna like grab at the tab at the front of her dress and pull, and change her form, and what you now see is the Milky Bar Kid, just like a small child with like a big Stetson, ready to throw out chocolate. Does all the same things, but yeah, Milky Bar Kid now.
Okay.
Oh, hello, young man.
You've seen me before, and so it made it sound like you'd never seen me before.
No, it's always good to see an old friend.
Young friend.
I've been around for a long time, 1930s.
You must tell me your moisturizing routine.
It's a cream-based moisturizer. Coconut oil, actually. It's against everything we talk about here at Milktropolis, but it's actually coconut oil.
Oh, that's where I've been going wrong. I am soaked for years in perry.
So actually, Stinking Bishop cheese is soaked in perry, which is basically strong pear cider, during the creation process. That's what gives it its distinctive flavour.
Just like the idea of this.
Most cheeses of the kind are washed in salt water, but this one actually.
I just love the idea of a guy who's just attained immortality through just drinking a lot.
He doesn't drink. He sleeps in a bath of perry.
Is that better? Worse?
Yeah, no. Just the fumes. Anyway,
Good soup.
so so there's a few ways that you could go about this that you know of. There is a way in through the cheese cellar, but there have been like traps installed there. There are you could, in theory, like break the access codes to get in, or you could just bust your way in some way. There's probably other ways of doing it as well, but those are the three that are sort of immediately apparent.
I'm down to clown whatever choose. If we do need to bust down a door,
and he kind of focuses his energy, and he's at the type of monk he is the way of the pastoral self, and he's going to summon two kind of blue-veined, cheesy, huge, extra arms that kind of come out of his back and over the top. So he's got his kind of rindy, fungusy exosuit with these two cheese, like beefy arms over the shoulder.
So who we got our heads we got to knock together, huh?
And he starts to like straighten his posture a bit, and like you can tell that he's raring to go.
Queso's down for that. Queso's all for smashing and crashing.
Before we do that, Baby Bell is going to turn to Queso Grande and just start to belt out. I am the one and only, nobody I'd rather brie, and cast Bardic Inspiration. So you get an additional 1d6 to any ability check.
Okay, so you currently have 2d6s you can add to things. Okie dokie. So how are we going to do this? So it's basically like a series of plates that are sort of layered down. So you could try and lift those up, or you can just try and like break some other hole. It's entirely your discretion.
So just to clarify, we're outside this map.
Yeah.
Are we still in the airship, or are we just outside?
I was assuming you were just outside, or
Cool.
So which way are we going?
I think Cheesy does it, and like take the simple route in rather than breaking the doors down.
Okay, I'm willing to do that too. Yes. I mean, we can always resort to punching as a backup plan, plan B, if you will.
I can use my familiar as a scout. We have a Cheddar the Hummingbird who we can send ahead to check things out in the cellar.
That's a good idea.
Jacob would like to go with Cheddar. I think they're good friends.
Oh, that's very cute.
they just lie together.
Jacob and Cheddar need their own spin-off show.
When a familiar problem finally gets released by Grant Howitt, then I definitely want to do that.
Okay, so you're sending your familiars into the cheese cellar. Give them. So you know there are traps down there. So are you making an investigation check, or are you just trying to send them straight through?
I would get them to make some sort of investigation, I think.
Mm.
Okay, so
Oh God. I don't know whether I actually want to do that or not.
Well, I'm using the stats for a hawk, and that's got -4 intelligence. That's going to go great.
I'm using a rat, which also is -4. So,
But together,
Yeah.
it does give you advantage, kind of. So think.
That's not far off my actual intelligence.
Oh, that was a nat 1.
So you're -3.
Yep.
Okay.
I got a natural 20.
Okay, it kind of balances out then.
So what I'm going to say happens is. So what was the name of your Kefir?
Cheddar.
Cheddar. So Cheddar like goes in, and it turns out there are these like the sort of like classic laser beam traps, and then Cheddar just doesn't really think about it because they have the brains of a hawk, just like, and so you trigger one of the lasers, and then these like spinning deadly nachos are just like flung like ninja stars across the room, but then your cracker companion just like grabs you back at the last second and with that nat 20. And then there's one of those weird moments where they're just lying on top of each other, just cheese and crackers, slightly awkward, romantic moments. But yeah, that's what's going on. So there are lasers that set off deadly nacho blades.
Okay. Are there any other kind of traps that are perceived,
anything else you
or
can see?
just the lasers?
Well, I mean, you would have to get past the lasers to do that. You didn't get through them.
Can Cheddar
Yeah.
try again?
I'm sure. Are you two watching through your cheese and crackers?
Yeah.
Cheddar and crackers.
Baby Bell was taking a snack.
Yeah, Kefir is kind of like relaying to everyone else what she's seeing through Cheddar's senses.
I was going to say, cut to outside, and whilst Baby Bell and Kefir are like, eyes rolled back, seeing through their familiars, Queso Grande and the Stinking Bishop are probably like psyching each other up, like, yeah, you ready to go, bro? Yes, yeah.
Get on some butt.
Just like, between us, we have 6 beefy arms.
Kefir's just mumbling about evil nachos in the corner.
You can now achieve the mythical high 6.
So they're going to try and, we need to make our way through with these two little familiars.
Okay. Well, you know the trap's there now, so I will allow it to work as dex saving throw.
This is Queso's bag. You need someone to be nimble. You need someone to be quick.
Are you going down to join them?
Absolutely, yeah. Send me in.
Well, if Queso's going, then the Stinking Bishop is amped up and is not going to want to be left behind.
Okay. So, and are Baby Bell and Kefir still outside, or are you following?
No, I'm going to go.
Okay.
I'll snap back and head on through.
Okay. So these lasers are there. You can just about see them faintly.
Can I? So I have a spell called Mold Cheese. It's the cantrip Mold Earth.
Yeah.
Is
it MOULD?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
And so technically, if it's stone, then what's the kind of surface on the floor?
I would say that the deal with this world is that everything is kind of normal, but just with this slight cheesy infusion at minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather it was all cheese than just a cheese infusion or something.
Well, this is my world. It's how I want it.
As in, rules-wise, would you describe it as loose earth or stone?
Oh no, it's like a paved floor.
Okay, cool. I attempt to excavate kind of a trench under the thing, but the stones just go.
It normally works better than
that. Was it dex saves you wanted?
You don't have to all go at once, I add. You do know that there are control panels on the other side to deactivate the traps.
Oh,
You've got,
can I cast Mascarpone Hand to go and deactivate them?
You could, but unfortunately they're further... Like, these securities are put to get past such basic tricks. Like, it's like in another room.
Devastating.
So that's a 16 from the bishop.
Okay, so you're going for it?
Queso's got advantage on dex saves because he's flipping incredible. Gonna be good.
7 for Kefir.
21.
21, okay. So, sorry, just to clarify, are you all trying to go through it at once?
That would be the worst idea, so yes.
Yes, 100%.
I think, because the bishop and Queso Grande have been outside kind of like psyching each other up. And so I think kind of exactly the Predator meme, except with like fungal, like cheese rind and...
So I'm going to say what happens here. I'm going to just do it in order. So Queso goes first, as that was the initial plan, as I understood it. And you do like these magnificent, like spinning twists and backflips, and just like dodge everyone perfectly, and just land and then do a flex. The Stinking Bishop. So 16, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get most of the way through. You surprisingly nimble, as you say, for a man as jowly as yourself. But however, unfortunately, let's see how many of these do we need.
Oh no!
One of my extra elbows just kind of like tags through.
That's on the floor. Let's move that before I step on it. So naturally, as these are nachos, this is a load of D4s. The most nacho-y of all dice. So let's see. 4, 6, 10, 11, 13, 19, 20, 21 points of slashing damage as you you almost get there, and then there's just these gashes in your rind.
Yeah, the exosuit is torn up a little bit, but it's still holding strong for now.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie.
God damn.
So Baby Val and Kefir, which of you's going next?
Well, can we look around for a switch? Or are we all going?
Are we committing to everyone having a go?
Okay, we
I mean,
committed.
this is up to you guys. I'm not forcing it. You guys are the ones who started all going through at once. So.
Well, I think like this small little cowboy kid had been eating a dairy Lunchable and not really paying attention, so is not going to be watching for anyone else doing something. So I think I'd be going at the same time.
Okay. So roll your deck save.
I'm also going to roll the d6 that I had from earlier as well. Very good. Which is going to be 17.
Perfect. So with your little nimble child frame, it's a bit easier to dodge through these beams. And then you drop your hat at the last thing and just stick your hand in and grab it back through. Perfectly fine.
I just imagine that because I was eating lunch that I just kind of walked through it and it just happened to all kind of miss me. Like one of those like disaster movies that they just avoid it.
There's one point where you drop something on the ground and you lean down to pick it up just as a laser goes over your head.
Yeah. And that brings us to Kefir. If you're coming through or you're being sensible, up to you.
And I'm going through. She's not a very intelligent tiefling, I'll give her that.
Also, it looks cool when we all jump through together and kind of pose at the end.
It's a bit of a struggle because with Mike all over her body, she just kind of drips wherever she goes, and she feels what Mike feels. So there's just bits of Mike everywhere, and she unfortunately only gets a 7 on her dex save.
Ooh, okay. So sadly, that is you do trigger one of the lasers, and you do set off the Nacho storm. Let's have a look at that. So 2, 3. On the plus side, you got a lot of ones on this. 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 17, 20. So
Okay.
20 points of slashing damage.
Are
I assume that.
embedded in me?
I mean, I'll let that be your choice. Like, I assume some of them go just straight through your loopiness and just out the other side.
Are they edible? Can I eat them? The ones that are
Yeah.
embedded.
One.
That's great then. I'll have a little snack.
Yeah.
So as Kefir lands with peppered with nachos, I want to turn to them and cast Healing Curd at first level. So that's going to be 9 points of healing to you.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
So, onwards, I suppose.
Okay. So, you know that this path winds, or rinds perhaps, up through the bowels of the manor.
Don't say bowels.
And eventually comes out to near the conference room, which is where the other heroes were supposed to be meeting. Could you all make me just a perception check, please?
18.
21.
1.
13.
Okay, so Baby Bell and Queso don't pick up on this, but Kefir and the Stinking Bishop do. You hear a noise that you've heard in various documentaries about the exploits of the Lactose League. Moo! 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 You recognize that terrifying anywhere. The laughter of the laughing cow. Latte Man's greatest nemesis.
My yogurt jiggles with trepidation at this sound.
I kind of put my arms out to hold all 4 of my arms out to kind of, or 3 of my 4 arms out to hold my companion. Go,
Something bovine this way comes.
So, you know that this comes out in the conference room, and it's sort of behind a hidden bookcase. So you are at least approaching from a somewhat stealthy route, should you choose to do it.
in which case, knowing that this is something of a nemesis of the League, the bishop is going to have to step up his game even slightly more. And I'm going to cast Champion of Culture, which is Champion of Nature, but with a funk twist. So the kind of the exoskeleton with the cheesy arms further kind of the integration of the cheese and the rind and the fungus, kind of the tendrils growing all over his body, and it starts to look a bit more kind of bit more Miyazaki vibe. Less of the kind of mecha kaiju, more the kind of bio, kind of techno-organic kind of feel.
Nice. Well, not nice, but like nice conceptually.
Let's we ready?
I think before we go any further, actually, Baby Bella is going to take her cheesy transformation and move more into her true form, which is a half cheese, half prosciutto humanoid. So this is the kind of blood hunter version of her, or curd hunter version of her. So yeah, I'm going to move into that for now.
Okie dokie. Anyone else?
Have we seen this form before?
I would imagine you have. It's like it comes out like occasionally, but it's like imagine like a cheese string with like tendrils of ham.
I have to.
Yeah,
I think about that every day.
sear it into your mind, Alex.
Okay, so you are now all just behind the door, and you can hear the the Lactose League destroyed under the laughing cow.
Genuine
More
nightmare.
like that, which I will not do because I will get very out of breath. What is your move here?
So relatively stealthy, right?
Yeah, I guess stealthy until we can, dive in and surprise.
But we would be good to maintain some element of surprise.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn to Kefir and just like a whisper song at this point, of Eurythmic sweet dreams are made of cheese, and have another bardic inspiration over to Kefir.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
That'd be a D6.
How's the rest of the team looking hit points wise?
All right. Okay.
Pretty good. My skin's looking amazing. My health's nearly max.
Okay.
Not too bad. 85 out of 108.
Okay, I'll drop another healing card on K.
Yay, thank you.
That'll be another 4, so that's another 9 hit points.
Thank you very much.
Great. So, you ready to sort of bust in yet, or?
The bishop's ready. Don't know about the others.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll brush the rest of the nachos off and I'm ready.
I like
Okay,
that you like there's nachos embedded in you, which you take out and then eat, so they're just back inside you again anyway.
I assumed I hadn't removed all of the nachos.
Okay, so you bust open the door, and before you is the laughing cow, this red minotaur, wearing a purple pinstripe suit, and with him is his yak of mooks. The little leaguers are here too now. Time to play.
You'll be laughing on the other side of your face when we're done with you, Vashki V.
And that is where we shall take our break, I think.
5 minutes.
Yep.
Would we be okay to do 10? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll try and keep it tight. Sorry.
No worries.
See you shortly.
Break.
See you then.
recreation. Here's the book. Don't mind me dying from anticipation. Die 7 types to spin. Traveling in my homebrew world location. Move freely, follow thy inclination. If you wanna roll, tones that I show up in a town, so do it. Have fun, but don't misconstrue it. Consequence abounds, you can't redo it.
And welcome back. We have seen our heroes fight the villainy of the Cheese Whiz, and now have been sent back to Cottage Cheese HQ to find one of the League's greatest nemesises, the Laughing Cow, holed up in the boardroom, cackling. And even as that happens, the Laughing Cow pulls out a strange weapon and points it at the four of you. This drastic out of ammunition, and casts this aside. And at this point, everyone make me a quick perception check.
Oh.
3.
22.
21.
17.
So everyone except Kefir notices that on the other side of the room, unconscious, are the Yarg, Lassie Lass, and the Blue Cheese, just out cold, and they look like the colour's been drained from their face by whatever has done this to them.
Sticking Bishop is pretty shook up because the Blue Cheese was one of his mentors.
Yep, they do seem to be alive, but they're in a bad way. So first of all, I think you will get a surprise round, even because you burst in and because his weapon didn't work. So let's just roll some initiative now, and then we'll go down that, and then we'll. I'm just going to roll
13 for me.
It's going to be a 13 from me as well.
Which of you's got higher dex?
I've got 12.
Mine is 13.
Yeah,
After you?
I got 19.
Okay, perfect. Alex?
It was a 14 for Queso.
Okay. And let's just check this stuff here. So that will be Baby Bale going first on the surprise round.
So we've got the Laughing Cow, and then how many others?
There's 12 yabbers. They're total like one-shot mooks. Like you fought the mooks a load of times, if not the guy himself.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna invoke spice chutney on my kind of hammy hands. So I'm gonna take another D8 of damage for that.
What does the chutney do, Sam?
So it's a kind of spiced pear chutney. So it imbues whatever I'm using with a level of spice that is just not pleasant to be slathered with. So yeah, it's just like, yeah. I don't enjoy a chutney, so I thought it'd be nice to use as a horrible thing. It was a D8 damage for me. So yeah, a kind of hammy tenderly hand is going to take an unarmed strike against Laughing Cow,
Okie dokie.
which is 25 to hit.
That hits.
Which is going to be just a straight up 3 points of damage. But then it's going to use a second attack with my kind of predatory strike. Actually, no, I need to add a D8 onto that last one as well. There's another 4 points of damage.
So 27 total?
No, that's 7 total of damage for that first attack.
Oh, okay.
So
Sorry,
3 and then 4.
Yeah.
And then the second attack with my kind of predatory strike is going to be a 15 to hit.
15 to hit? Yes, that hits. He's just wearing a suit. He doesn't have the common sense to wear armor because he is a giggling maniacal mindful.
Which is another 16 points of damage.
Nice.
And then anything for bonus. Yeah, for a bonus. Oh no, I've used my bonus. Never mind. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. That brings us to Queso.
Okay. Standard. Charge in as acrobatically as possible. Still feeling a little bit emasculated from the acrobatic blunder. So really going to put something into this attempt. Trying to get some air as well. Maybe trying to go above the Laughing Cow if possible. Come down on top.
Okay, then give me an acrobatics check for your
Use a
unnecessary
D6.
flipping.
Definitely using one of my inspiration. This will be my bardic one. Still hearing those dulcet tones in my ear. Okay. So that must be. It didn't roll well, so that D6 has come in handy. 24.
Yeah, so you do this like beautiful pirouette of a spin through the air and landing like perfectly poised behind. I can't think of a cow would be with this pig shit. This big old red cow.
Because this is one of a slightly more serious class of enemy, Queso is going to pull out his macahuatl, which is like a traditional Mexican wooden sword. It would usually be like a slicing weapon, but he's more committed to the smack rather than the slice.
Yeah, he's ramming it. Hitting everything with a bloody sword.
He's just going to try and milk this cow. In fact, he says, "You've heard of the milk of human kindness. Here's the milk of human beating the shit out of you." That is a 26.
That definitely hits.
Fantastic. Oh, that's good. Oh, I forgot. Rewind. Rage.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Back in. So that's another +3, so 3, 9, +9. 18 damage.
Oof, nice.
And then the second one again, just going to bat around the other side.
Okay.
Oh, that's very nice. I think that's definitely going to hit. 29.
Yeah, that just about hits.
Not as good on the roll this time though. The damage, that's 15.
15. That still hits.
Oh, that was the damage.
Oh, sorry, the 15 damage. Okay, so I'm trying to remember spells at the same time as talking to you. That's going slightly wrong. Perfect.
Queso out.
Nice. So you're just getting pummeling him with it, and he's just like, moo.
Oh, don't enjoy it.
And that brings us to K-Pip.
God, that is disturbing. Swallowing her disgust, she's gonna go. You have lactated for the last time, Laughing Cow, and she's gonna go in with a scorching way. So she's gonna send hot, curdling balls of yogurt at this enemy. She gets 3 rays with that. So the first one is a 30, which is also a nat 20 for me. So that hits. That is 16 fire damage for the first one.
You're waiting on this guy a lot quicker than you were on the first one.
The second one is a 24.
That hits.
Yep, and that is a 10 fire damage.
Yep.
And then the final curdling ball of yogurt is a 16.
Yep, that hit. So damage or to hit?
That was to hit the 16.
Yeah, that's still hits.
Yeah, and that's 6 fire damage.
Perfect.
Amazing. That is all for Kefir.
And that brings us to the Stinking Bishop.
Okay. Slightly disturbed by watching Queso Grande essentially spank this Laughing Cow.
That's a paddling.
Yep. You beat me to it.
The bishop is going to run forward, ducking under the rays of hot yogurt shooting out from Kefir's appendages. And yeah, it's going to unload with the full complement of attacks with my action and bonus action. All of these kind of various cheesy fungal arms, like whoa, 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 whoa. That's going to be 3 attacks. First one's a nat 20. Second one is going to be an 18. Third one is going to be a 23.
All hit.
Wow.
So the first one, so I have a d6 from my pastoral arms, a d6 from my fungal symbiotic entity, and a d6 from my guardian of nature. So that's going to be 6 d6 on that first strike. Does it matter which ones are force, poison, or necrotic?
No, he's got no special resistances. He's just...
Oh, I rolled like ass on that.
Sure.
4, 15, 17. It's going to be 22 damage on the first punch.
Dang.
And then the second punch is going to be 15 points of damage. And the third punch is going to be another 15 points of damage.
Okie dokie. Okay, I'm just going to tell, just for context, not reflective of this. You've done more damage in this round as you did almost in the entire previous fight, just in your surprise round. So
the Stinking Bishop is at almost his full power level.
Yeah,
they're like some of the fungal kind of networks along his body are starting to like glow slightly with the power that he's harnessing all of these abilities together.
okay. So we come back around to the top of the round, and he goes first. Now that he has tossed away his strange weapon. I was like, "Woo! That was delightful! You guys are better than I was expecting. I was expecting a bunch of moosers. You might be fun." And first of all, he is going to cast his it's a fear gas. It's a laughing gas. So I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Can I counterspell it?
It's not a spell, sadly. It's like a gas, like a object.
Although at the top of your turn, can I ask for a Constitution save, please?
Yes.
Against my cloud of spores that's just kind of circulating around my
Constitution saving throw
rindy fungus
18.
body.
22 for me.
That'll pass.
What is Constitution, right?
No, it's only the cow.
Yeah.
But the cow passes, so it takes no damage. Oh wait. Oh, these are the wisdom saves. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Wisdom, that was it.
Yeah. So Kefir is fine. You resist the urge to giggle uncontrollably.
19 from me.
So does the bishop. He doesn't like smiling from the look of it.
Dirty 20 for me.
Also saves.
15 for Queso.
Queso bursts out into laughter, and you are under the effect of what would normally be like Tasha's hideous laughter. So you are uncontrollably laughing, and you can try and move on your turn.
Does Queso realise the absurdity of him spanking the cow and start to laugh at it?
Pinnacle tweak of that is that was his bonus action, and he is now going to pull out his cheese wire and try and garrote Queso, who's laughing. So he has advantage against you because you can't control your own movement right now. That was a nat 20. This is where it gets serious again. You're like, oh, we're spanking him. Oh no. Okie dokie. So let's have a look at that.
What type of damage are we talking here?
Alright, so that is
Something I'm resistant to, I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, so that will cancel out the crit, but he did roll high. So 19 doubled. No, sorry, 19 plus 5. No, sorry, this the maths doesn't exactly work in order because of the adding on. Okay, so that would in fact be normally 19 doubled is 38 plus 5, 43. Halved again is 22 points of garroting damage to Queso.
Ooh,
But that does snap you out of your laughter.
Okay, that cow spanks back. But at least, yeah. At least I'm back in the...
And that brings us to
I love the idea of just like, ha, 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 hoo.
As a bonus action, Baby Bell is going to use Lactose Intolerance or Bloated Agony to curse the laughing cow.
Okay.
So until the end of my next turn, you've got a disadvantage on Strength and Dex, and take 1d8 necrotic on an attack on your turn.
Wow, that hurts.
So I would just imagine like all the milk that this cow is holding onto is starting to curdle and cause like bloat inside.
Just the udders swelling up a bit.
Yeah, like really swollen
They
udders.
have to, even though they're a male cow, because it's cartoon logic.
And then going to take just like two more spouts with the cheese knives that are still imbued.
Nice.
It's 22
That hits.
and a 25. Oh, wow.
Yep.
That is... How much is that going to be? 23 points of damage.
Nice.
And that's it for Baby Bell.
Okay, so you are no longer laughing because you're being garroted, but that's...
Do I need to do anything to stop being garroted, or is that?
So on his next turn, unless you do something, he will not have to roll to attack you with that garrote.
Okay. Ooh, I didn't like the damage. That wasn't very nice. So I would like to not take that again. But also I do want to hit him. Yeah, so I will try and stop being garroted.
Okay, so make a strength or athletics opposed check against him.
Okay. Athletics, lovely. So that's a 21.
26 for him. You like flip him up and he just sort of manages to sort of balance on you. So it's like a reverse. The cow is on the man. And anything else at all?
I mean, was that my action? Get humiliated on my turn?
I mean, I think so.
There was actually something that should have happened with my last attack, which would have been Brand of the Milkman. So because I attacked you with an imbued weapon, each time you attack someone, you now take 4 psychic damage.
Okay. So, was that before? Or was that just next turn?
So that would have been the start of this turn.
So he would have taken 4 damage this turn.
Yeah, for every attack that he takes against someone else now.
Okay. So let's just have that on then. Perfect.
I mean, Kato's role is sort of the tank, I guess. So just going to take it and keep the Laughing Cow busy. That's my role.
Kate.
I think I will cast Polymorph. So my symbiotic community of microbes on my body is going to start rapidly dividing and starting to get bigger and bigger and start to harden and create the shape of a Bree Rex.
You would get a point for that if you didn't have one already.
Yeah, it's just, I think that'll be all. I mean, that's the action casting Polymorph, so I don't think I'll be able to take any attacks on that turn.
So
yeah, just a giant, very milky, yogurty, dripping, oozing, squelchy Bree Rex.
Nice.
The smell in this room.
I know.
In this world in general. Yeah, so that brings us around to the Stinking Bishop, speaking of smells.
Seeing this this cow strangling my companion, unhanded vagabond. But I'm gonna say vagabond because it's French for cow. And then with my over-the-shoulder cheesy arms, I'm gonna try and shove the cow.
Okay.
And it has disadvantage on its strength check against that, I believe.
Okie dokie.
I rolled poorly. I'm going to save my d6 for a time that I've rolled better. I've got another attack.
That's only a 10 on his part.
Oh! Can I use my d6?
Sure.
That's a 9.
Close but no.
I'm going to use my second attack to shove again.
Okay, that's fine. Another strength save?
Yeah. I rolled... Oh, nice! I rolled a nat 4. I rolled a 3 on the first one and a 4 on the second. So that's going to be a 9 from me.
Yeah, 3 in total for him. He's not got good strength.
Cool. So yeah, I shove him off Queso Grande, and then with my bonus action, I'm gonna kind of on the way out give him a bit of a uppercut to knock his jaw back.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 24 to hit.
Nice.
Very good.
That definitely hits.
And that's going to be 14 points of a mixture of force, necrotic, and poison.
Awesome. Okie dokie. So this is the point where the mooks finally get their turn. So the Yakults, 3 of them are going to go after each of you because that's the easiest. So let's just do it in order from top to bottom. So Baby Bell, these 3 Yakultists, 2 of them definitely don't hit. Does a 16 hit?
No, it doesn't. I hold up my cheeseboard shield.
Okay, so you're just like blocking. They're literally just punching because superhero comic logic about punches. Queso, does a 16 hit you?
Yes.
Does a 13 hit you?
No.
Okay, so you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. Cape Ear. Ooh, the ones that have gone after you are a bit stronger. One got a nat 20, and one got an 18.
Yep, both hit.
Okay, so they do a total of 3 damage.
Whoa. So much.
Yeah.
So the first one who steps to me can give me a con save, so I got my reaction back.
Okay. 8.
No. So they're going to take 5 points of necrotic.
Okay, they are out.
Can I use a reaction at that point to invoke Curse of the Cheese String? So anything that drops to 0 HP, I'm going to get them to move towards the Laughing Cow and take an attack. With a plus
Okay.
2 bonus on that attack.
So what do I need to roll? Or
Just whatever their attack is, like to attack
Okay.
the Laughing Cow, and add plus 2.
okay, that actually does hit. They just like punch the Laughing Cow in the udder for 3 damage. Yeah. Yeah. So had I rolled for you, Khalil? Okay.
No, one of them's gone.
One of them's
Yeah.
dead. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. Okay. Does a 12 hit?
No.
Then you're good. So that just brings us back to the Laughing Cow thing, and he's going to use this opportunity. So now you're all engaged with foes to get a sneak attack in. No, actually, first I say, tell you what, he's going to use his laughing gas again. So everyone, make me another wisdom save.
23.
Saves.
11.
Fails.
20.
Succeeds.
14.
Fails. So Baby Bell and Queso are giggling uncontrollably at this point. And as Baby Bell had just done this creepy zombie thing, he's going to go in for a sneak attack on you, which he is at an advantage because of the
Ooh.
laughter and
Is-
the mooks.
Is everything happening within 5 feet of me?
He would have to leave your area to get to Baby Bell, I believe.
Okay.
So you do get, but you are laughing, so you can't take an attack. Anyway,
Ooh, okay, never mind.
does a 20-something hit?
Yeah, it does.
Okie dokie. And he's also going to stick some potent poisoner damage onto his wire at this point as well. So we need those, and we need those. And where's his sneak attack gone? Ooh, that's a lot. Bear with me while I find all the d6s. All of them.
It's
I
great
might
that the
not-
mic is just over the dice tray, so we hear every clap of all the dice.
Okay,
You really know how much it's going to hurt.
I'll empty out my barely used dice into my dice tray.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. So,
I like that laugh.
to be fair, it's a laugh in your favour. That lesser. Okay, so 5, 5, 5, 5. So that's some 5s there. Another 5, so 25. That's 30. This is exciting, dynamic counting of a million dice. 38, 40, 44, 49 points of garrote damage. Dang. Do you like
you
my
just
cheese
watch-
wire?
You just watch as like cheese strings are stripped off of this humanoid cheese ham man. Yeah, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. I have lots of hit points though, so I'm all good.
Right. But he does take that d8 on this turn, I believe. You mentioned?
Only if you take a second attack. So if you're going to attack again, you'll take a 1d8.
He only has one attack.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
So didn't you mention a 4 damage at some point? Sam?
No, that was first
Okay. Oh, that was just that other attack. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So, but it is, however, your turn now.
Yeah, this not very happy, cheesy, hammy humanoid figure is not best pleased about that, has to be said. So it is going to come back out with 2 swipes of the cheese knife one more time
Okay.
Against this horrible cow. That is going to be a 17 to hit and a natural 20.
Nice.
First one is going to be... What's that? The first one is going to be 7 points of damage.
Nice.
And the second one is going to be... 22 points of damage.
How would you like to do this?
So having been stripped of all my kind of strings of cheese, you see this kind of humanoid figure that is reduced to mainly prosciutto at this point, wielding a crimson rite imbued cheese knife, and it's going to go for the others. And so this spiced chutney infused knife is going to slam into the others twice, and you watch as the milk just starts to gush out of these others. It's like,
Ugh, someone into my mouth. Ugh.
And the laughing cow drops to the floor, still occasionally twitching with laughter, but unconscious. And at this point, the remaining Yakult members just leg it. Shit, who's got the boss? Let's run! Get out of here! Whether you want to,
Are we out of initiative now?
it depends if you want to be or not.
While they're running away, I'd like to cast a mycelial whip at one of them to try and yank them back.
Okay,
If I can.
go for it.
It's gonna be a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
So it normally would do a little bit of damage.
I'll allow it to be non-lethal, to not
Cool.
knock him out if you want.
Yeah, so I just kind of and kind of wrap him up in a kind of tendril of fungus that has erupted from my arm.
Where do you think you're going?
I don't know, man. I'm out of here. I'm not paid enough. The boss has gone down.
Yes, and you're going to tell us everything you know.
All right. Just roll an intimidation check just for laughs. Like, you probably will succeed, but just in case of that funny natural one.
It's a flat 17.
Yeah, that's fine. He's like, all right, man. I'm not messing with supers. I'll tell you anything you need to know.
So, what was the laughing cow doing here? What happened here? How have you managed to infiltrate the cottage cheese HQ?
Well, the boss got contacted by someone. He said that he would give him this weapon if he would just go fuck up the Lactose League, and he would give him the codes to get in, right? And that was the weapon over there. Yeah, and then we came in and we're like, oh yeah, bam, bam, bam. And the only condition was we had to hand over Milkmaid to a drop-off point. So the lads, we took her off over there when we hit her with the beam.
So she's gone. There's no time to lose.
So unless anyone else has any questions, I was just gonna kind of incapacitate this guy and tie him up, wait, and go and check out the heroes that are unconscious.
Okay.
Absolutely. Priority.
yeah, that's it.
Okay, so you approach the blue cheese, Lassie Lass, and the Yarg. You are aware that you have to be careful touching the Yarg because he does have nettle-wrapped skin. in addition to his prodigious strength. But they're sort of like on the edge of consciousness, so you could bring them around with a decent medicine check, I would say.
Okay.
I can do that.
Queso steps back.
I'm still a Bree-Rex, so I will definitely be stepping back.
Unless the bishop wants to do it, I'm happy to give it a go.
You go ahead. I'm not proficient in that.
So that'd be a 19.
Yeah, so you managed to stabilize them all.
So I just like put like a finger out that's covered in gorgonzola just under their nose.
Okay, so do you want to speak to any of them particularly, or?
Who have we got again? The Yarg. We've got...
Yeah, so the Yarg is like a Hulk type guy, so he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Lassie Lass has her Lassie of Truth, which she can make people tell the truth with. She's like a Wonder Woman type. And the Blue Cheese is the world's greatest cheese knife fighter.
So who are you waking up?
I would say Blue Cheese out of them. We'll keep the Yarg under, keep him sleeping.
Okay, so you stabilize them, but and they're all kind of drained. Okay, so you wake up the Blue Cheese. He's got the sort of Green Arrow mustache and goatee that makes him incredibly recognized civilian form. But what's happening, man? Oh. Looks over at the weapon. It's like, oh, all right, that's a fucking milk snatcher, man.
The milk snatcher is back.
I don't know, man. Maybe, she was the only one who knew how to make them, and that doesn't even look like an old one. We destroyed them all. We thought, but that. Right, bring it over here. You can't even stand up right now.
Okay. Yeah, we'll fetch that.
Make just it's not actually Arcana for the purposes of this world, but make an Arcana check as you do it.
Whilst that's happening, I'm gonna shape change again, and you'll just see a barista in front of you now.
Solid 3 on that check.
So were you all making that, or just Queso?
Oh, we can all make.
Oh,
it.
sorry.
What check was it? Sorry.
Arcana.
I got a 12.
Natural 1.
Charlotte?
Oh, sorry. No, we're all doing Arcana checks. 1.
Okay,
So the highest we got is a 12.
yeah. It looks newly built, but apart from that, you can't tell anything about it. But you bring it over to Oliver Cream, the Blue Cheese. And I literally came up with that as I said it. So
very good. You can
and it's let me look at it. And he sort of weighs it up, and this is made of Wensley Tech components.
Wensley Tech? The Wensley family?
But they're good, upstanding citizens. They're friends of the League.
Indeed.
What a cheese twist.
Although the henchman did say that someone gave them all the access codes to the cottage, and we would have all the access codes, but those dastardly Wensleys.
if you check, you just Stilton. Show anyone who uses access codes recently. And it's like, yes, master. The following access has been had in the last half hour. So he lists off the members of the league that you know were there. And then he lists off Latte Man's code. So Latte Man wasn't here. Latte Man also accessed the armory.
Well, that ain't right.
What did I say about sending a coffee to do a cheese's job? I knew that caffeinated coward couldn't be trusted.
You need to check in there. That's where we store the weapons that we have confiscated. Some bad shit in there.
Whilst everybody's been talking about this, Baby Bell has been collecting up some of the milk from the Laughing Cow, had started to make lattes and then heard that, and so made some milk instead. That's right, everyone.
Well, thank you. I prefer sherry, but might as well.
My little Brie Rex arms don't let me pour. Can someone put it into the mouth for me, please?
I use a fungal whip to kind of it up. By this point, the glowing has ceased over the exoskeleton, and in fact, the rind armor has kind of cracked and fallen away. Because it's probably at least 10 minutes since I used it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
But the extra arms are still coming out of my back.
Okay.
You're like Machamp. That's all. I'm just like, I've got Machamp.
Elderly Machamp.
Saggy Machamp.
Is anyone in need of any kind of restoration or healing?
I'm still defending.
We can get you special league milkshakes for that. And Stilton, give them the healing milkshakes, and you will get a milkshake that just restores all your health, but not your spell slots.
Much appreciated.
So I was a bit harsher to Baby Bell there than I meant to be.
I healed 12 hit points.
I'd lost quite a few. I'd lost about 50.
I lost 83. It was a lot. I did do like a bunch of damage to myself with the Crimson Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I guess we all have like a little milkshake moustache on our top lips.
Yeah. And the little Stilton robot then sort of like picks up the fallen heroes and sort of takes them to recuperate.
To the armory, then.
Okay, so you head down, and you guys don't actually normally have access to this, but the blue cheese has sort of like given you temporary privileges. And you head in, and there's sort of various artifacts from some of the League's most famous battles. There is the mask and sword of the Mascarpone, the deadly assassin. There is the shield that they used to defeat Gorgonzola. But there is one plinth that is empty. And that is the one that is right at the heart of it, that is sort of the most important. Not important, perhaps, but like the most famed possession. The Iron Lady armor is gone.
I don't like the sound of this.
This is a bad omen. Omen
Before we
Tal.
go any further, can we just like acknowledge just how much incredible world building has gone into this?
Yeah.
But yes, that's not good. Do we know much about what that armor did, or?
Okay, so make a history check on that one. I mean, you'll know something, but this will determine how much you know.
Can I assist on that?
Yeah. Or you can all do individual rolls if you prefer.
I got 21.
15.
13.
Okay, so you this is like common knowledge. This was like the biggest news story of the century. So effectively, the Iron Lady is an android that was controlled by one Baroness Dutcher, that sought to drain all the milk from Milktropolis and thus conquer it, destroying the heroes. And like the ones you met, like fought her, and they only just survived. There were some other heroes who fought who like just had to retire because they never got their powers back after being hit with that weapon that you just saw. They did eventually manage to defeat it by draining it. No, they're not. Fuck Margaret Thatcher. So yes, they managed to sort of drain its weapons, and eventually Milkmaid was managed to take it down. And so this depowered android has just been sitting in the basement of the cottage cheese until today, apparently. And as best you can tell, it was Latte Man who took it.
As best we can tell.
Yeah,
On you go.
you go.
I was just going to say, is there any like security cameras or anything that we can check to see if it was just Latte Man, or did we just?
So
assume
yeah,
it?
Stilton is sort of still answering questions. Unfortunately, all footage was wiped, which is consistent with the abilities and access privileges of Latte Man.
Prick.
Can we see any exit route or any other artifacts that were taken or anything like that?
There is a flying vehicle did travel from here to the Latte Cave at the time that this happened. Its identity is unknown due to cloaking, but one could speculate that it was the Latte Jet.
Stilton, did you know where it went? Is it still here?
So it's gone to the Latte Cave, which you have never been to before because Latte Man does keep to himself the most of all the Leaguers. But we do have.
But we
do
still
know where that
call
is.
Soy Boy.
You can do that if you want.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I can't make it work. How do I call Soy Boy? He called us, correct? There's got to be some normal button somewhere.
I like the idea the others are just watching you for entertainment, basically.
And I end up like accidentally live streaming a close up of my face
Yeah.
to the League's Twitch channel or something.
I'm watching the stream.
It's just like a real close, low angle of my face. Like,
This is a contraption. So I'll say, okay, eventually somebody, let's say eventually Stilton takes pity on you and like remotely activates it. Like, I finally got it. And it just beeps the voicemail.
So either Soy Boy is incapacitated or otherwise unreachable, or has turned against us.
Stilton, can I check whether the Iron Lady would count as Fey Fiend or undead? I imagine not as an android, but
It would. I mean, it's a construct, but there were fiendish elements to it.
okay.
Being made by Healthborn.
In this case, I'm going to use Hunter's Bane
Okay.
to make a survival check to track where they might be or where they're being taken.
Okay, so what's the exact wording of that?
You have advantage on wisdom checks to track Fey Fiends or undead, and you have advantage on intelligence ability checks that recall information about them.
Okay. So you just want to make a survival check then to whatever check?
15.
Yeah. So it's not that hard. Like you can see these like the scraping along the floor. It's clearly been dragged. It clearly hasn't walked of its own power. And it does go to a space outside, which is where the latte jet does normally park. So
It looks like we've got some catching up to
I
do.
can give you the coordinates. I can pre-program a flight to the latte cave if you wish to go and investigate that. In the circumstances, I believe the danger is unlocked, and you are the most senior League members available. As in, also the only League members available. But let's not get into that.
Looks like it's down to us. Do we
get
need
to
a...
it.
Yes, let's get to it.
Okie dokie.
Yeah,
So-
what options are ahead of us for travel? Back on the milk
Well,
float?
we've got our airship, right? Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
the milk float.
There we go.
Yep, so you get into the milk float and buzz off into the sky with a sort of... So none of you have been to the latte cave before, or even know its location, but in this emergency, the milk float autopilot takes you there, and you find yourself surprised to be heading to stately Wensley Manor, home of famous billionaire playboy philanthropist Dale Wensley. You wonder if Mr. Wensley knows that Latte Man has been living beneath his house this entire time. The milk float hovers through a waterfall at the rear of the property, and you
Come
find
to think of
yourself
it. Oh, sorry.
in the legendary Latte Cave, where few have stood before, and with at the far end of it, with the screen facing away from you, you see there is a figure with the distinctive coffee cup handle cowl of Latte Man, sort of sitting in his chair, doesn't pay any attention to you coming in, and there is a loading bar on the main screen that's creeping up fairly rapidly.
Oh.
Can we see the Iron Lady?
Make a perception check.
Can I help him?
Everyone?
Yeah, you can all make it, or make it an advantage.
I didn't roll great.
Yeah, just go with the bishops.
No. Oh, are you helping me, Bo?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Oh, lovely. That's going to be a 23.
Okay, so you don't see it itself, but you do see like some large power cables coming out of either side of the computer. One seems to be heading behind a sort of black curtain, and energy seems to be being fed from that end, and out the other side, like a tall sort of metal cylinder that the energy is being pumped into.
And did you say that the mech was powered by milk?
Yes.
I would like to cast Create or Destroy Milk.
Good game, everyone.
I'm gonna cast a well, it's a third level. I'm gonna cast it at a third level.
What's the range on it?
The range is only 30 feet, so I might have to sneak a bit closer.
Yeah. So you're about 120 foot away at the minute,
Okay,
and the bar is still going up.
Yeah, right.
So
Nice of action.
then the bishop is gonna try and quickly and stealthily get closer, so that I can get within 30.
As that's
Okay.
happening, can I shape change to look like the laughing cow?
You can. So the laughing cow materializes before you, just slightly waxier than before.
And Queso wants to go the other direction, so trying to sneak towards the sort of the black curtain area.
Okay. So everyone make your stealth checks. Are you stealthing as well? KP?
Definitely going to use my my cheesy inspiration.
I will also be adding my inspiration to that.
I shouldn't have used mine on the perception check.
That's a 12 for me total.
It's gonna be a 14 from me. Ooh.
Okay.
17 for Queso.
Okay. Sam?
I got 15.
Okay. So you're all stealthing closer, and Latte Man doesn't seem to move. He's just staring at the screen.
Ooh.
Do I get within 30 feet?
So you creep closer and closer, and you. So are you heading? So are you heading for the cylinder or for the Latte Man? Or
So
for
could you explain the pipe situation again, please?
Okay. So essentially, on the one side, about 40 foot is from the computer is the curtain on the right. 50 foot from the computer on the left is the metal cylinder that the energy is being pumped into. And Latte Man is in the computer in the middle.
I will cast it on the pipes.
Okay.
The pipes that are connecting the cylinder and the mech, and yeah, I'm going to cast a 3rd level destroy milk. So I destroy 30 gallons of milk.
Such a specific thing to come up with. This is beautiful.
I knew that I had to take Create or Destroy Water in this game.
I know. That's just a good choice. Okay, so
And you need more milk or less milk, you know?
So what you effectively do is just like the milk energy that is being pumped through the pipe, just 30 gallons worth of this milk infused whatever just vanishes from the pipe, and
Does the loading bar change?
the loading bar like stops and then begins to slow back down, but then more energy sort of like fills back up, and you've basically sort of gained about 20% loading bar time.
Okay. What do we, in terms of like how far along is it? If we can see the end of the bar.
Okay, so it's at about 40% now,
Oh, okay.
and it's sound has just vanished for a second, so I'll stall slightly longer in detailed description, but yeah, there we go. So you've probably got about 4 rounds before it's full.
Okay. Well, Queso's very intrigued by the curtains.
Okay.
And wishes to investigate or find out what is behind those that will be sort of driving this process.
Okay. So you pull back these dark curtains, and behind it, strapped to a table, is Milkmaid. And there's like a siphon in her neck, and it's just pumping out her milk powers to feed the Iron Lady, presumably droid, on the other side. Make a quick perception check.
Oh no! The mask just gets in the way of everything. I'm terrible at perception. 7.
So you've like seen Milkmaid quite a few times before. You've never been able to work out her secret identity, even though she just doesn't even wear a mask.
Sounds about right.
So anyone else?
Anticipating.
Can everyone see now that the curtain's open? Everyone's
Yeah, I
now
think so.
what happened.
Anticipating violence, I'm gonna summon my symbiotic exosuit again,
Okay.
and glow my staff.
Okay, yep. So let's say everyone else just make a quick perception check on Milkmaid as well, just in case any of you.
10.
21.
Okay.
21 as well.
Okay. So Baby Bell and Sinking Bishop, you're just like, you know what? She looks like if Brie Larson was wearing glasses. That's weird. Probably unrelated. Okay, but yes. So the energy is being.
I should tell Milkmaid that later. She'll find it very funny.
So yeah, what is your plan now? You have approximately whatever 6 times 4 is. My brain is gone. 24 seconds before this whole.
I glance at the other teammates to kind of be like, "We're going."
Queso just wants to get this woman out of here.
Okay.
However-
I'm going to cast Blindness Deafness on Latte Man. So I'm going to fling some kind of microbial spores, and they're going to try and grow into his eyes. That's a con save, please. DC 18.
Okay. So he doesn't move either way. You can't tell if it's worked or not. But you just everyone make a quick perception check again for me, please.
23.
Ooh, that's better. 17.
Okay, so who was it? 23. Sorry. Okay, so what you know of Latte Man is that unlike the rest of you, he has no inherent milk powers. He is just a man who has worked out such a good latte recipe and regime that he never sleeps, and thus can optimize his life and train 24/7. And you just hear a whisper from this person: "Poisoned with decaf." And then you hear like, "Well, jeepers, it's about time you all showed up. I was thinking you wouldn't get here for the party."
Soy boy!
We
You're
should have
not
known.
even real dairy.
So, well, I mean, you better get fixing it quickly because soon I'll have the Iron Lady up and running, and I can finally take the mantle of the woman I was cloned from, but in an opposite sex way, because comics.
Thatcher! Is your name Mark by any chance?
Marco, but nearly, yes.
I'd like to run up and with my beefy, cheesy arms, not literally beefy, with my muscly, cheesy arms, try to rip some of the cables out.
Okay. I'll let you do that, and then I think we're into initiative.
Okay. That's a 23.
Okie dokie. So I would say, there's, it's not just a single cable, it's, lots of things. So you get, I would say, about 2/5 of this out with that I suppose.
So is the progress bar slowing down a little bit?
Yeah, so it's not depleting, but it is slowing. So you've probably bought yourself an extra round.
Good.
Okie dokie.
So, are we in combat now?
Yes, initiative, please, everyone.
Have we seen Poor Boy? Did we see where he was?
No, you don't see where he is right now.
Oh, don't like that.
Sorry, 20.
7.
6.
22.
So
Nice.
Bishop, Kayfabe was above Bishop, Baby Bell, and then Queso came first.
Yeah.
Perfect. And that will go there. Okay, so top of the round, Queso, and you're sort of, you can hear Soy Boy's voice echoing around this place. Really, he knows this place a lot better than you do, and he's going to know all the nooks and crannies.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like that. Does it look like there's anything I can do to get Milkmaid Brie Larson out of the contraption that's holding her?
I mean, so she's held in with like manacles, and there is there's like a milktronite crystal above her that's sort of obviously like weakening her enough that she can be contained.
Of course. Okay, so look at that. Does it look like there's anything he can do to smash that, rip it out?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably rip it out. It's like, it's not like, it's basically just stuck on the end of a bar with a sort of claw holding it in place.
Then that's what he's going to do.
Okay.
Yeah, first thing, try and get that out so we can get Milkmaid back in the fight.
Okay. So roll me a strength check.
Oh, that's a nacho roll 1. Haha.
So you,
Wah, wah.
so he's like,
Another one.
well, I'm gonna try, but I buttered that bar to make it extra hard to pull off.
Soy boy!
I'll count that as an attack. So if you want to do anything else, then you've got multi-attack, which I think you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Well, anything else I can attack? Can I have another go at that, or?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. This time, I've got my remaining cheese inspiration. Do we have a proper name for that?
Cheesepiration?
Yeah.
We'll go with cheesepiration.
Yeah.
That's much better.
I would point out as well that if you rage, you get advantage on strength checks if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Because I'm a nice
There we go.
DM.
Rewind rage.
Yeah.
Back to where we are. Okay, so that's 14 plus 4 plus 9. That's much better. 27.
Okay, so you just like just snap this titanium bar that's holding the milktronite crystal above Milkmaid. And what? So you got it in your hand. What do you do with it?
Just want to get it as far away from Milkmaid as I can.
Okay. So you could throw it. You could run away from her with it. You could run away and throw it.
I'm going to throw it in the air and then with my Maquatl just bat it across the room.
Nice. Make an attack roll just to see if you actually hit it or not.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What am I heading? Well, is it just a regular attack with the weapon?
Yeah.
28.
Okay, so you just like utterly like punt it out the front of the waterfall.
My best attack
And you
is
see
against
like
the rock.
Milkmaid just like slightly stirring.
Okay.
Okay.
Happy with that.
And that brings it to Baby Bell.
So the waxing cow is gonna try and have a conversation with Soy Boy. Because as far as they're concerned, it's the laughing cow. So it's gonna be like, Soy Boy, it's me. Show yourself.
Okay, he's going to insight check that, which he got a nat 20 on.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like, I fought the laughing cow, and you are not the laughing cow. Like, there's no manic cackling. You're not annoying enough. I mean, you're pretty annoying, but not in that way.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to move up to where the Milkmaid is as well at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Kate here.
I'm gonna cast levitate so I can fly up to 20 feet. So I'm gonna fly upwards and try and find where Soy Boy is.
Okay. So yeah, he does seem like he's in the rafters somewhere. So make a perception check. I'll say with advantage as you kind of are sort of removing the kind of angle.
20!
Nice.
Hey!
So you see him sort of tucked around the back of a stalactite, speaking into a little microphone that's sort of projecting from a place where he's not.
I'm going to shout out, guys, he's got a mic.
Anything else on your turn, or
I don't think there's anything else I can do. The levitate spell would have been an action, so.
okay? Okie dokie. That brings us round to the stinking bishop, who now knows, if cannot see, where Soy Boy is. Oh, you're muted, Kilo.
I was just miming. I'm going to use my bonus action to spend 3 key points this time. Was it 4? 3 key points to not only summon my cheesy arms, but for like part of the fungusy rind to come down over my face like a kind of a helmeted mask. So that's both the arms and the head of my pastoral self. So that means I can see completely normally in both magical and non-magical darkness to 120 feet. And between that and... Did Kfir point out where Soy Boy is?
I'll see him.
Yeah, you can't see him, but you know where he is from where Kfir's pointed it in.
And he's up in the rafters somewhere.
Yeah.
I am going to... I'm going to cast Milky Sphere.
Okay, that sounds horrible. What does it do? And what do I need to roll?
So I don't know how it's going to work because I can't see Soy Boy, but I know where he is.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yes.
So I conjure a sphere of milk with a 5-foot radius at a point I can. It can only hover 10 feet off the ground. No, sorry, I retract my milky sphere.
I mean, he is on a bit of ground up there. He's not.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like alcovey bit.
I'll cast milky sphere up there. And any creature within the sphere's space must make a strength saving throw. On a successful save, they're ejected from that space to the nearest unoccupied space. If on a failed save, they're restrained by the sphere and engulfed in milk. At the end of each of their turns, the restrained target can repeat the saving throw, ending the effect on a success.
Okay, I'm going to say because you can't see exactly where he is, he's going to have advantage on this.
Fair.
But yeah, we can try that. 21 strength save.
That's a pass. So he's shunted out of the sphere to an adjacent space.
Okay, so he is at the very least pushed out the other side of the stalactite, so you can all see him now.
Ah.
And that milky sphere is still there, so
Yeah.
that's hanging up there. That's and I'm going to move.
Oh, you got me, suckers! Now what are you going to do?
In terms of space, where are we? Just
Okay, so he's about 30 foot up and about 20 foot forward. He's sort of halfway between 30 foot up, halfway between Latte Man and Milkmaid.
gotcha. All right. I'm gonna stay where I am. Actually, I've got enough movement to catch him whenever. And that's my turn.
Okie dokie. Now it's his turn. So he is going to go. Well, catch me if you can, losers. And he is going to use his Soyarangs. So he is going to. So there's these bean-shaped boomerangs just come down in a cone, which I think would be able to hit all of you except Queso. So can you all make me a dex saving throw, please?
A 9.
So is Queso beside Milkmaid?
Yes.
I'd move to there as well, so I should hopefully be able
Okay,
to.
then yeah. In that case, you're okay then.
I got a 16.
16. And so what was yours, Charlotte?
Oh, it's 9.
Okay, yeah. So you both get like your front filled with a load of these bean-shaped boomerangs.
Bean-shaped boomerangs.
Yeah, beanerangs. So that is 12.
I won't work that out.
16, 18, 25 points of slashing damage to each of you.
Okay.
And then as a bonus action, he is going to throw down a smoke grenade and try and re-hide somewhere else in the room. Let's see what his stealth score is. Okay.
Can I use cutting words before you tell us what that was?
Yes, you can.
Anyone got a pun they can use? Because I'm all out.
Oh, I've got a few saved. Did you?
You must be the unsweetened type of soy.
Well, I roll that at disadvantage. What am I rolling? D6? Yeah. Oh, it's a 1.
So what? If you all make me a perception check and see if you can beat his passive, his stealth score.
Ooh,
8.
0.
23.
Okay, the stinking bishop, thanks purely to that 1 point deducted, does manage to spot him. You just,
Yes, baby bell.
You just catch a little edge of a green cape vanishing behind a stalagmite now on the floor level.
Okay.
Over there.
And now that happens. The bar creeps up a bit more. And now it's Queso's turn.
Okay. Now it becomes clear that kind of the fate of the whole city, if not even the world, is at stake. Queso's going to pull out his Horn of Lactose, which is a something that's been in his family for a long time. His family has had a history of training animals to wrestle in a nice way, in a like less of a Pokemon, keep them confined and force them to fight way, but animals that come to them wanting to learn how to fight. And these animals, that when they sadly pass on, their spirits go to Valhalactos, and they can be brought back in a milky spirit form when the horn is blown. So that is what Queso is going to do. He's going to blow the horn and see what type of milky spirit animals come forth to assist him. We have 9 luchador mice
Yes.
entering the building.
Beautiful. I'm just going to say that they share your initiative just to keep it straightforward.
I think that might have been, that was an action to do that.
Yep.
So,
Do they have a separate turn? Or?
It just says I control them.
Okay. So I'll say that they can go now if you want.
Okay, so I'd say both Queso and his fleet of dormice are going to charge towards the spot where. Well, do we know where that spot is, or was it just the Stinging Bishop?
I assume you showed everyone.
Over there.
Ah, okay, that away, mice. So yeah, charging that way.
And when I point, I'm pointing with 2 arms because it's both of my left arms.
Nice.
The big cheesy ones and the
Clear.
fungus ones.
So that's running. Right. Oh, they're just running. Okay.
Yeah. Unless we get
That's what,
then they
yeah,
might
no,
do something.
yeah. They could get there and on a dash, but not because he is on the other side of the room now. Baby Bell.
So, how far away is Soy Boy?
From you, he's probably about 50 foot.
Okay. I'm going to cast Shatter at second level.
Nice.
So I need con save, please.
That's gonna blow up all these mice.
Okay. So that's a 10, which I assume fails.
That fails. So that's going to be 12 points of thunder damage.
Okie dokie. Perfect. So it's like, frick, man! Such a lame one.
And as I assume, is he going to fall from the rafters, or is he going to stay where he is?
He's on the ground now.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to use my second Mozzarella Maledict to cast a Blood Curse, which is once again lactose intolerance of bloated agony on Soy Boy. So it's like a lot of beans, like just feeling a bit bloated.
Nice. So remind me what that does when it comes time for it to happen, because many things. Kfir.
So I can still see him, right? Because Stinking Bishop pointed out where he is. Okay, that's great.
Well, you know you can see him enough that you can move into position to see him anyway.
Okay, that's
But,
fine.
right.
And does he have 150 hit points or fewer than that?
No, he does not.
So he's got more than 150 hit points.
Yes.
Ah, it's not gonna work then. Never mind. Okay. I will move to where I can see him then and start launching some Baby Beldritch blasts at him. Does 25 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that is 10 force damage for the first one. The second one is a 27 to hit and is 6 force damage.
Yep.
And then the final one, that is a 28 to hit, and that
Jesus
is
Christ,
9
that's-
force damage.
9, you say?
Yes.
Awesome. Okie dokie. So that brings us to the bishop.
So, Queso Grande got rid of the crystal that was debilitating Milkmaid, right?
Yep.
So, bonus action, I'm going to chuck a healing curd at her.
Okay.
That's going to be 7 points of healing to Milkmaid.
Okay.
And then I'm going to run at Soy Boy and use my action to do 2 attacks. One of them's a nat 1, and one of them's a 19.
Just hits.
Okay.
Did you say just hits?
Yeah.
Ooh.
More like just eats. That's going to be 11 points of damage.
Awesome. Okay. So now Milkmaid is having her turn, and this person who looks slightly weirdly like Brie Larson is just gonna. You see her stir into consciousness, and she's still very weakened from her normal ridiculous power levels, but she's going to try using her eye beams, which don't require her hands to be free, to shoot at Soy Boy. However, that was a nat 1 there, and that's so that'd be.
They should just shoot
So
the
that was
inside
a
of my
hit.
brain.
Hits me in the back of the head.
It's just one of them that just hits the stalactite.
So are these beams of milk?
You don't want to know what they are.
No, we do. I really want to know.
They're beams of evaporated milk. Okay, so she manages to just glance off him for 7. It's like you can tell they're a lot less powerful than when you've seen them in use before, but still not terrible. And that's her turn, which brings us to Soy Boy again. So
Con save, please.
con save. Okay.
Because I stink.
Was that something for you, Sam, as well? So 19.
not yet.
That passes.
Yep.
Apparently, I don't stink that much today.
Oh, you do. You do.
Oh, thank you. That
Don't say
really
that.
means a lot, Queso. I appreciate that.
Okay. So he is going to throw his baton at I think he's going to throw it at Queso. So that's miss. Yeah. 15 misses, I assume.
For Queso,
Yeah.
that's a hit.
Oh, okay. So he does. Max damage. So that is 8 plus. Sorry, my breath. Yeah. So he does 16 damage on that attack.
Okay, what sort of damage?
Bludgeoning.
So resistant?
Yep. If you're raging, yep. So back down to 8 again.
I think I'm still raging when I hit the
Yep.
thing, aren't I?
Yeah. So his little baton bounces back to his hand because of mad boy skills. Okay, so that will also hit. And funny thing, he's been trained to quickly take down criminals very easily, like as quickly as possible. So he crits on a 15 up. So that was a 17 he rolled. So that'll hit you again. Now, fortunately, that was a shite roll. So you, after your resistance, will take 6 damage. However, the other thing that happens on a crit is it bounces to the next nearest target, which is a 19. So that will also crit, and it'll probably be one of your dormice. And that will be 16 to hit. 16 damage, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. And then a third dormouse will be hit by this ricocheting baton.
Wait, I've been waiting for someone to say ricochet so I can say, you mean ricochet? There we go. That's surely a turn back.
Does a 16 hit the dormouse?
Where is it? I've got the stats for him. Yes. Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so that does 16 damage to that dormouse as well.
Oh. Okay.
And then he, as his bonus action, he is going to use his smoke bomb again. Okie dokie. So that is. Yeah, we'll make me another perception check, please.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Whoa.
It's an
2.
18.
Oh, okay, natural 20.
Nice.
Yes.
So what did everyone else say? Because you heard it at the same time.
I'm an 18.
18. Okay. Charlotte?
8.
2.
Okay. So, case on the merit of it being a critical success, not on actual numerical value because he rolled really well. He is now sort of like dropped down onto a little ledge, back towards the latte jet.
Okay. That's where he is, everyone.
Okay. And one mark there. And that brings us to Queso and your army of dormice.
Yes. So if they've got the stats that the item says they should have, 16 damage isn't actually that much for these mice. They're holding together
Well,
pretty well.
I'm terrifying.
But I've modified their damage so it's more in line as to what I think a mouse should realistically do, rather than like a 7-foot berserker, which is what they're supposed to be.
But it's funnier if they have the stats of a berserker, but they're just a normal first dormouse. It just rips They've got abs somehow.
If you're happy with that, then they can all be carrying little great axes.
Yeah. Dagmar, if you're listening, do we get cancelled for dormice with abs?
Well, we now know where Soy Boy is, so we're all headed in that direction. Do you think we'll all get there in normal movement?
Yeah, you can just about get there. You can't all fit round him at once because there's too many.
Yeah. Absolutely fair. So we're all going to get there. It's a bit of a melee, bit of a mash.
Okay.
But yeah, Queso's going to lead the charge. Got to have a good line for this. Oh yeah, no, of course. I'm going to say this was a move taught to me by a great man, Dwayne the Rockfort Johnson. Just with both fists, launch myself forwards, try and take him down.
Okie dokie.
Oh, it's pretty good. That's 27.
To hit. Yep.
Okay. Not going to be too much damage. But it's 8 damage.
Okie dokie.
And then again, following up from an unarmed strike is going to try and grapple onto the ground.
Okey-dokey.
I'm hoping then that will, if successful, gives my my mice a better chance. So yeah, so it's athletics for me, and then acrobatics or athletics for Soy Boy.
Okay, so he does have extremely good acrobatics,
Whilst
but
raging.
he'd rolled quite pants. So what do you get?
27.
You beat. He does a backflip out there, and you just grab him by the cape and yank him back down onto the ground.
You're mine.
Somewhere off in the distance, you hear, "No capes."
So that's it for Queso.
Yep.
But then I've got I've got 9.
16 dormice at advantage.
Well, how many mice do you think can get in?
How big are you picturing them as being?
Ooh, are they like biker mice from Mars? Like hunky men with mouse heads?
The only way it makes sense is for them to be, that big. So we're going with that. Just terrifying, giant, milky apparitions of mice.
But with dormice eyes, which are just basically these giant beady domes on their heads at that size. It's not cute anymore. Okay, so let's say for the sake of argument, 8 of them can get round him at a time.
Okay. Maths time. Let's do this as quickly as we can. We got so with advantage as well.
Yeah, eight dormice beating up a child with advantage. That's what this is.
1. Do we know his AC yet?
It's 19 for the sake of brevity.
Right, so that misses. So that gets reroll. That's a hit. That's a critical fail. That's a miss. That's a hit. So only 2 hits.
Okay.
All time round. And then I'll reroll for the ones that. Still still not great. 2 more. So 4 hit.
Okie dokie. Yep, roll those up.
So that's 4d 12. So
Just all these muscly mice just stomping out this kid.
They're inspiring pudding.
It was a hate crime. It does.
And so that's plus 3, so plus 12. So 31 plus 12, 43 damage.
Okay. These mice curb stomping this small child.
I hadn't even pictured it was a small boy. Oh.
Like, how small are we talking?
He's 14.
So, if anything, he's a victim of child labor.
I mean, that's for the courts to decide. So, after that disturbing showing, we'll go on to Baby Bell.
So I can see what's just happened with Queso Grande and the luchador mice, like you said, curb stomping. I want to join in. So this waxy cow is going to run like at top speed towards what's going on. And now, can the cow's udders do anything? Like, did they have any kind of like powers in any way?
Right. Let me just see. The laughing cat, I think, might have a charge attack, which I'll give you because it's funny.
The best one.
Okay, so you can use if you use the dash action. Wait. Okay, so horns are a 1d6 plus 2 attack, which is plus 8 to hit. And you can also do a thing where if you dash to get to somewhere, you can immediately make a gore attack.
Nice.
As a bonus action.
So you say 1d6 plus 2 for the horns?
Yeah.
And are they a melee weapon?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would like to do is at the start of this turn, this cow is gonna like squeeze from the udders and grab whatever comes out and smear it onto the horns with a crimson right, and then run at top speed. And he's gonna have to clear the luchador mice and Queso Grande.
Yeah, they all just step back. They just all hold him in position, like spread out, just to get full blood.
And then it's gonna take 2 horn attacks.
Okay, so I guess just make two plus 8 attacks.
That is a 21.
Yep.
And a 18, which doesn't hit.
No, so yeah, like the first one had the momentum behind it. The second one, like at close range, he's got that tough body armor on.
So
this is just getting even more surreal. Just like.
So you said 1d6 plus 2?
Yeah. Or plus whatever your strength modifier is, if that's better.
No, it's plus 2 as well. Plus my 1d8 for Crimson Right. So that is 14 points of damage.
Nice.
And that's all I can do.
You're just punks. I hate you all. That brings us to Kefir.
I feel kind of a little bit bad, but not enough to not attack him along with everyone else that's already attacking this child.
Peer pressure. Wonderful thing.
So, more Baby Beldridge blasts. First one's a 15 to hit, which I think that misses, right?
Yeah, it just like splats off his body armor and splats all over.
Because my heart's not in it. I'm like, this is a whole child I'm attacking here. 18 for the next one.
Nope, also misses.
And 23.
That hits.
Okay, so that's 9 force damage. Now I'm also gonna use one of my features, which is called Hurl Through Hell. So when I hit a creature with an attack, I can instantly transport them through to the lower planes. So I'm sending the child to the back rooms, and at the end of my next turn, he then returns back to the space that he previously occupied.
So he just vanishes, and he's like plummeting, screaming through like infinite smelly locker rooms. I'm all stinking cheese.
And I'm assuming he's not a fiend, right?
No, he's not a fiend.
So when he returns at the end of my next turn, he takes 10d10 psychic damage just from the trauma of what he's experienced.
This is the ultimate scared straight.
It's just like this, like you wouldn't steal a car. You're just like, well, we'll send you to hell. Okay, so it's the bishop's turn. but Soy Boy is currently plummeting through hell. So
Cool. Milkmaid is still strapped into this contraption, right?
yes.
I would like to go over and try to use my cheese arms to kind of rip open the constraints.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be a 25.
Hey.
Dang. So you just,
That was with my pun d6.
so you like you just buff old man arms. Just
So I'm imagining that there's like 2 ankle restraints and 2 leg wrist restraints, and so I've got 1 arm for each, and so just
like the screws just like ping 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 ping, and the whole thing.
You all right, young lady?
She's
Oh, something I realized just now. You look. Get this. You look a little bit like Brie Larson. Isn't that a funny coincidence?
Very much. She's still plugged into the machine at this point. So just...
Oh. I mean, Bishop doesn't really understand technology. So is that action or
I
attack?
think that's your action to do that.
That's whole action.
Because it was these titanium bolts you've just ripped through.
Absolutely, that's perfectly reasonable. Bonus action. I mean, I haven't used the attack action, so I can't use my martial arts, can I?
No.
Okay. Then that's my turn.
Okay. So that brings us to Milkmaid's turn, and she's going to sort of like turn to the cable, and she is going to fire her beams at the cable. Okay. Double nat
2
one.
nat ones.
No.
So
She
they're
does
just kind
have
of like,
her brain this time, right? Like, it
so
has to be-
they're just kind of like the high pressure evaporated milk just goes.
She's probably, she's a bit shaken up from having her secret identity mentioned, even if it wasn't revealed.
Yeah. So yeah, that's her go.
Queso is very glad he
Boy
got
is
whatever was weakening her,
next.
because her true power is an all to see.
Yeah, so Soy Boy's turn now. He is screaming, plunging through 1 trillion smelly locker rooms. And then that happens, and then we are back around to Queso.
Okay, well, first, Queso's just gonna like have a little huddle and be like, right, guys, chill, okay? Remember, we're here to bring justice, not decapitate a child, right? Okay, cool. Okay, right. On the same page. Okay, moving forward, it'll be fine. So where
Can we please have merch of these muscly mice?
I'll add it to the spreadsheet of
Add
like.
it to the big long spreadsheet.
luchador mice?
And
So
also,
is he,
Dagmar lets us. Dagmar
he's-
might kill us before we get a chance, but
is he still in latrine hell?
yeah, he's still in latrine hell till Kfir's turn, I believe.
It's the end
Okay.
of my turn, yeah.
Okay.
And then is he going to appear back in the same spot he was?
Yeah.
Assume so.
Yeah. Assuming that there's nothing like in this spot currently,
I mean,
then
so
yeah.
you could presumably have you all like ready actions, I guess.
Everyone's there.
It's like I'm back
He's
from hell.
already traumatized from being through hell.
I think we're going to do that, yeah. I won't get like a grapple or anything ready. I think it's all just going to be just wail on him, yeah, when he appears.
That's going to make for an amazing point of view shot,
Yeah.
like in the cartoon. When he comes back and it's just like this whole row of mice and this
furry little
wrestler.
It's like the Avengers shot.
So yeah, I think that's it for Queso and the mice, just preparing.
Okay. Baby Bell.
I think I've done enough. Like, to traumatize. I don't think I'm going to join in again. So what's the kind of lay of the land with the cables and like? The
Okay, so there are still Milkmaid is all her shackles are broken, but she's still connected by her neck by 3 out of the 5 cables.
Okay, I'm going to head back towards her.
Okie dokie.
And then I would like to see if Jacob could get her out. Like if there's any little mechanism that you could get into to make it a little easier to get out.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check, I guess.
Sleight of cracker.
Or a little sleight of cracker. Cool. Natural 20.
Okay, so against all the odds of using a sentient cracker to try and disarm high tech, 2 more of the cables pop out.
Well done, Jacob. Well done, Jacob.
So only 1 cable is remaining.
And then for a bonus action, just to make sure that it's all used up as much as possible, I'm gonna look at Kefir and I'm gonna launch into "Hello, is it Bree you're looking for?" And use my last bardic inspiration.
Nice.
That'll be 6.
Okie dokie.
Cool, thank you.
And that's me.
That brings us around to Kefir, and we await the plummeting back from hell of Soy Boy.
Well, I think Queso and the Dormice have kind of got that situation covered, so I'm going to head over to Milkmaid and try and remove the final cable.
Okie dokie.
That'd be like a sleight of hand or something?
Yeah, sleight of hand. If you've got any particular relevant tool proficiencies, I'll allow those too.
Don't think so. I will add the bardic inspiration though to help with that. So I'll just do that now. That's a 19 and then plus another 6. Okay, so that's 22 in total.
Okay, so it's sort of the fact that her skin is so tough normally, has actually made it kind of hard to get these out, but you just kind of managed to get just the right angle with your sort of gloopy surface to kind of lubricate it so it'll slide out. And the last cable is disconnected, and you see the power level dropping.
Yes.
Dropping.
Yes.
And now Soy Boy plummets back from hell.
He does. It's 2d10 psychic damage, so I will roll that.
Oh, nice.
And that is 66 trauma damage.
Jesus Christ. He's looking rough as fuck. He's still alive, but...
I mean, he's about to get punched in the face, right?
Yeah, he's about to get punched in the face by 16 mice away. And the loot door.
Is that me? Are we going to
Yeah.
now?
He's still held out.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I was doing all the rolling in the background because there's a lot. Right, so let's do the mice first.
Okay.
Because if this is going to do anything, Queso wants to be the one who
Okay.
make sure it's not a lethal blow. So we've got six hit. That's
Nice.
wait, no, 6 hit.
Okay.
One of them was a critical hit from the mice. So let's do 7, 12. So for damage, we're looking at that's 3 times 18. 62, I think, from the mice.
Okay. How do the mice want to do this?
Yeah, well, they've been trained so well. They're all going to land their blow at the same time.
Yeah.
And all just right in on Soy Boy's head. Yeah.
And he just...
And that's
Your wieners. And
Can I use a reaction of Curse of the Cheese String just to make him punch himself in the face?
your wiener. I hate you.
Stop hitting yourself.
This is why I'm lactose intolerant, because you're horrible. And so, the energy meter on the Iron Lady armor hits 0. And you see Latte Man beginning to stir as well. And it's just like, well, today you've saved the Lactose League. And we are returning our thanks. Consider yourselves full members. Now I need proper coffee.
I'll just change myself back into a barista.
Yeah.
And make him that coffee.
Thank you. And so you are sort of taken back to the League House. You're sort of you've saved the city of Milktropolis from Soy Boy draining all the milk powers from it, and returning the terror of the Iron Lady. Is there any last thoughts you have on your first true heroic adventure?
As we leave the latte cave, presumably in the milk float, I would like to cast Tidal Wave to summon a tidal wave of milk to kind of shoot out of the entrance to the cave behind us, so that it like freeze frames with like the airship and the wave coming out behind it, and it's a great kind of just before the credits shot.
Beautiful.
Or merch then.
If any of you have anything else to add to that, that is a very good ending.
I'm going to have a 10-way high five with my mice.
Yep, perfect.
Baby Bell's going to use the last spell slot to do Skywrite again and just be like, Baby Bell's Cabaret Night, 7 p.m. at the Chuckling Bull. Milktropolis gooey sacks will have you like fondue.
Oh.
Okay, Viv, anything for you?
Kefir and Microbe, but Mike's just happy that he's made a better life for himself, Started as mouldy coffee in the 9 halloumis and now he's a hero.
Perfect. Well, with that, let's roll. But this is a superhero story, so of course there's a bit after the trailer you've watched before. Keish music, if you've got some available, Sam.
Oh.
I don't know if you do on the short notice.
What-
if not,
what
don't
music?
worry.
What music?
Spooky, ominous music.
Give me a second. Let's fill for time. Credits are rolling down the screen.
And there's those those retro kind of like candid shots of the actors, and they kind of like, oh, I didn't see you there, and like all 4 arms are like, and then it's a freeze frame.
There's a scene. There's just one shot of the stinking bishop dressed up as Baby Bell, just jumping out to the on set.
Get out of it! This is private.
There's one shot where you see where Casey's been hiding that horn the whole time.
I'm a man of the cheesecloth.
I'm just like imagining just like all the mice just hitting the gym together, just chugging protein,
spotting each other.
Around for 1 hour now, and then it's 7 days until they can do it again. So they kind of get a week's rest.
Yeah.
Then they're back in action again.
Okay.
So like should have had names for them.
Yeah.
And the credit scene for Baby Bell will just be like her going into a dressing room with a harangue, which is definitely not Roger Rabbit.
It's legally distinct. Rupert Rabbit.
Legally distinct Roger Rabbit. Ronald Rabbit.
Yes.
End credit scene.
we're ready for our after credits scene.
Oh, yeah, we're ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the screen cuts to black. And then the depths of space. Off in the depths of the Milky Way, a titanic figure stands aside a dead world. The whole planet drained of all its milk force. Feet the size of mountains breaking the salt crust where once rich oceans of cream were but hours before. Its voice booms through the ether. To me, my herald, the great thirst is upon me once again. I yearn for protein-rich refreshments. A tiny pale figure, thousands of light years away, hears this call through subspace, and instantly zooming off, moving at incomprehensible speed across the void between solar systems in the blink of an eye, riding a huge green disc that one could swear looks a bit like a milk bottle top. The stars are stretched out to infinite gleaming impossible lines as the speed of light is left far behind, and the figure finds itself standing at the foot of the colossus that bestrides the world, awaiting instructions. The Titan turns to the small figure. You come at last, my herald, my semi-skimmer. I thirst so. Now you must skim out onto the spaceways for me to find a world which I may sate my great thirst. Lactose, pasteurizer of worlds.
Incredible.
So it begins. It'll still be the MCU, right? Like the Milktropolis cinematic universe. There we go.
So, if anyone needs our addresses to find our bodies when Dagmar's finished with us, we'll post them later, somewhere safe. Thank you to all our guests, to Alex, Doyle, and Charlotte. Thank you so much for coming and taking part against our crime against humanity. And of course, thank you to Sam for co-conspiring to create this abomination against all of this good. Is there anything you would all like to add?
Thank you so much for getting us on board with this insane idea. And, you know, the fact that we worked together in the end to accomplish our goals proves that teamwork makes the cream work.
I don't think I've saved a single pun. So yeah, thank you everyone. It's been amazing, and I will take my dairy leave and go.
And just echo those two sentiments. Don't have a single pun left to add. Genuinely don't, but thank you. It has been cheesy and horrifically cursed, but I wouldn't have had it any other way.
I think that was the thing that stressed me most about writing this. I was like, shit, I'm running out of puns when I'm trying to write. Sam, anything else for you to add before we head off?
More just that I could never get fed up with this. I'd love to keep playing it with like these characters in this sort of like world. And so Dagmar, you might hate it, but we're probably gonna have a conversation. But also, of course, our fundraiser, which is still got a couple of days left for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. Please do donate to that if you can. This is going to be going out towards the end of November, so there's still a couple of days to do that. And when it goes out, we will have started campaign 2 of Science and Sorcery, Search for the Mirror, with our wonderful DM, Catherine, and also a brand new player for Science and Sorcery, Rachel. It will have been fantastic. It's going to be so much fun. So do catch up on that thing that hasn't happened yet, but will have happened by the time you see this, if that makes sense.
And the anniversary show will have also happened by then. So
yes, yeah.
So watch that.
There's horrific. It's horrific, but the anniversary show is going to be horrific in a totally different way. I think Alex and I are probably going to try and get the stream shut down. So thank you so much for
for all our players, thank you so much for those of you who have been watching. This has been great. Let's do something like this again.
Yeah. And thank you to Dagmar as well for
Yes.
who wouldn't be here.
For sparing our
I'm
lives.
sorry.
For putting up with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, folks. Take care. See you all very soon. Good night.
Night.
Yeah.